Looks maxing is the furthest extent that you could take self-improvement. This principle follows Wolff's law that a bone is going to grow back stronger.
You would hit yourself in the head with a hammer.
Yeah, bone smashing is legit.
But there are different ways you can improve yourself.
Right, but what's going to actually get you further in life?
What is looking better for?
I'm someone who just wants to mog, essentially. I'm getting a double jaw surgery in a couple weeks from now, so that's probably the furthest it goes.
You do.
Couple weeks. So he's gonna Frank Tufano himself pretty soon.
I traded like some neurotoxicity for temporary leanness to ascend really quickly.
On Michael Land, I've had the privilege of sitting down with people from a wide variety of backgrounds. Priests, exorcists, scientists, refugees. Never before, though, have I sat down with a looks-maxed meth head live stream cell. And I have that distinct privilege today with my new friend, Clavicular.
How's it going?
Mr. Icular, it's wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Mike.
There is so much I want to get into with you.
Okay.
Even all those parts of your title. But I want to start with the most obvious and most apparent to most people, which is that you're a good-looking guy. I don't think that makes me gay to say you're a good-looking guy. You have intentionally become a good-looking guy. You have looks-maxed.
Right.
What is looks-maxing?
Looks maxing is the furthest extent that you could take self-improvement, right? So we've seen a lot of different forms of that over the years, mostly with bodybuilding. I would say was the main one for a while for men, from about 2010 up until 2020, and then it sort of shifted into looks maxing. That kind of crept into the space from different niche forums, especially those of PSL, which was just three
pumpkin spice latte, obviously.
No, just three looks maxing forums. So that influence kind of crept in, and it's very obvious that the face is more important than the physique. So people were doing the self-improvement, and it wasn't really getting them the results that they needed. So that's why the further step needed to be taken to sort of go about improving upon your entire life.
So there are all these bodybuilding forums, and you say, well, what about this phrase, the butterface? But you hear about you never hear about butter body. So you draw the conclusion from that, hey, you guys are all working out to build up your bodies, but the face is more important to physical attractiveness.
Absolutely.
So that's what distinguishes just working out and hitting the gym and bodybuilding from looks maxing.
It's just adding an extra layer, right? I'm someone who hugely advocates for still going to the gym, even though I might have been taking a little bit of time off recently.
I've taken about a decade or so off.
Yeah, so no worries, we're on the same page there. But I'm just adding that extra layer, that extra piece of key nuance that I feel like has been out of the equation for the longest time, especially in a lot of like the manosphere discussion. Looks hasn't really been, mentioned, and it just seems kind of silly to me.
Can I ask how old you are?
19.
You're 19.
Correct.
So
the best way to improve your facial appearance is to lose weight. A lot of people are a little overweight, and if they just got lean and got a more chiseled jawline, they'd look way better. And aside from that, just improving the look and quality of your skin. And again, a lot of that has to do with diet. People eat like shit, junk food, and, salty, oily, shitty, processed foods, which are going to make you break out, and your skin's going to kind of look a little rougher. So if you just eat more good, clean foods, lots of vegetables with carotenoids, your skin's going to look better too. But, outside of that, unless you're going to get surgery, there's not really anything you can do.
you're very young.
Yep.
And you're talking about this development of the looks-maxing, self-improvement world.
Mm-hmm.
When did you get into this?
When I was 14 years old, I was someone who was on these bodybuilding forums. I started taking exogenous hormones, testosterone, when I was 14. And then it became more of a shift from bodybuilding-oriented stuff, like we talked about before, say this happened to a lot of people, into more looks-maxing stuff over the years.
You're 14, you're going through puberty. You're
Yeah.
getting a nice injection of testosterone the old-fashioned way.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you do that?
For facial masculinization, just optimizing all of my growth pathways so that I could have like a super physiological puberty, right?
I don't know if that really makes any sense. So, this is the problem with some of his reasoning. There's no actual, research or evidence with some of the things that he's doing. Especially the bone smashing, but it's super physiological puberty. I know that, there are, they did used to prescribe steroids, particularly exandrolone, to kids with stunted growth. So it's not it's not in research that anabolic steroids have never been prescribed to kids. But again, it's only things like exandrolone for stunted growth, and that's not testosterone. As far as I know, the only time testosterone is ever prescribed to kids that young is if they have like no testicles, or like they have undescended testicles that don't work properly, or something like that. And again, they're given like replacement doses. What the fuck would even be super physiological puberty?
Right. So, you could do a lot with pharmaceutical intervention. So taking those steps at an early age is kind of like it's a now or never mentality, right? So once your growth plates close, there's nothing you could do.
Are there
That was kind of the mentality.
downsides there? Are there side effects?
Of course, yeah, no. So there's a lot that can go wrong if you're not very careful with, using anabolic steroids. Obviously, so I was someone who did my due diligence and made sure things didn't go horribly wrong. There's certainly things I could have went about better, and I wish I had a more comprehensive understanding before I, decided to go this route. But we're here now, and for those reasons, with how complex it is, I don't openly advocate for anyone to do this. Right? I think a lot more people are going to wind up screwing themselves over.
It's interesting. He has talked about having really severe social anxiety. I wonder if him taking steroids at 14 might have had some kind of role in that. It's hard to say. He is kind of weird. Like he might be a little autistic. I don't know. But who the fuck knows? As far as I'm aware, there's not really any research on taking super physiological doses of testosterone at 14. I know there's research on children and some anabolic steroids, like oxandrolone, but that's it.
What do you regret? You say there's some things I wish I'd done differently, would have turned out differently.
Just not taking certain pharmaceuticals. I wish I would have, had a little bit more IGF-1 in the protocols, just for example. So just
What's the effect of that, though?
IGF-1 is, an important hormone for development. So just if I were to take that, that would be a little bit better, but I couldn't afford it at the time. So I would have just gone about that a little different.
I don't know what he means by IGF-1. You can't get IGF-1. It's a very rare and very expensive, unusual medication. It's called Increlex. They prescribe it to children with delayed growth who cannot use growth hormone because for whatever reason they lack like the right enzyme to convert growth hormone into IGF-1. Extremely rare. It's literally just not on the black market. You have to know a guy who knows a guy, kind of thing. Like pro bodybuilders pretty much never get access to it. It's very rare that they can ever get it. And again, it's extremely expensive. So I don't know if he means like he wishes he could get growth hormone. They do make IGF-1 LR3, which isn't real IGF-1 and doesn't seem to really fucking do anything. And if you're really if you're young and you have normal growth velocities, I'm not sure. Like you'd have to take a very high dose of growth hormone anyway to even get an effect that would increase your height. Because again, this is a medication that's prescribed to people who have growth hormone deficiencies. So if you have normal production of growth hormone and conversion into IGF-1, you'd need very high doses of growth hormone for it to benefit you. Because your growth hormone when you're younger, and again, assuming you have normal growth velocities, it's going to be very high.
Is it cheap to Looks Max, or does it cost money?
It's just more achievable. People with...
I'm just saying, how much do these drugs cost?
Not much. It's not really that difficult. It's more of a time investment, but someone is likely going to lack the intellect to be able to achieve the status max, to achieve, income max. So just across the society, I would say we should be advocating for...
You don't need to take steroids to exercise. You also don't need to lift weights to exercise. So what's your point? Like, does anything... Like, this is, like, clearly just projection. You're insecure, and then you're projecting your own insecurities onto others. Some people enjoy working out, and they also want some of the other benefits that steroids offer. So they take steroids.
When you learn how to do well in your job, when you learn how to cultivate some skill that the marketplace rewards, aren't you improving yourself in other ways that just enhancing your bone structure does not?
Absolutely. No, and you're fully right. And before we go any further down this rabbit hole...
I don't know about that. I would say becoming a millionaire is definitely much more difficult than losing 30 pounds and getting a nice haircut. Like, that's kind of a weird claim to make. That improving your looks is more difficult than making, like, serious amounts of cash. Like, for me personally, I would feel more comfortable with a woman dating me because she likes the way I look than dating me because she likes the amount of money I make, too. Like, if I had to choose either option, like, yeah, I think I'd rather have a woman date me because she likes the way I look.
I think, man, if I had to date in the year of our Lord 2025, I would be very upset.
Mhm.
I would have to learn how to mog. I would have to learn how to mew. I would have to learn all these skills that I don't possess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say that the main reason that is because of Instagram, right? And a lot of people don't understand the implications of, access to the internet and access to communicating with everyone across the entire world, essentially. So what that looks like in terms of a hypergamy standpoint was, maybe you had a girl from your town who's going to try to date above her looks level, maybe just in her immediate surroundings. But now we've got people like, professional athletes DMing them on Instagram, flying them out. So you're not just competing with the top chads of your 15-mile radius, you're competing with the entire world. So it's
The Chads of the world, maybe who even live in Chad.
Yeah,
a nation of Chad.
You got no idea.
This idea that you're competing with, like, NBA basketball players, it's just so fucking bizarre. This is like fresh and fit level delusion. Your average girl that you're interested in dating is not getting offers to, like, fucking be flown out by fucking NBA players.
Well, I doubt it, but so it's becoming increasingly difficult to compete as like the average guy. So there's this.
The only time that might be true is if you're, like, dating somebody who's an OnlyFans model, and a very high-earning OnlyFans model. And I don't think most dudes even want to fuck with that sort of shit anyway.
Does Shaquille O'Neal fly out girls from Palookaville?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Does he really, or is that the thing? Like, it's a fun
That's not happening.
story, and I guess it could happen. But does that really happen?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I've seen professional athletes like following like girls I knew from like my hometown. Like this is like a very common thing because with how degenerate the society has moved.
That is not a common thing. This is just delusional whack job shit.
So
there's like that meme where some really good looking guy goes up and he's like, "Hey, Shelly, nice dress today." And she's like, "Oh,
Right.
thanks, Giga Chat." And then
Exactly.
some like fat guy walks up and he's like, "Nice dress, Shelly." And she's like, "Hello, HR."
Exactly. Yeah. So no, that's a pinnacle example of the halo effect and what that looks like. So if you've got to be this fat slob who's getting HR complaints for shit that you saw, another guy do 2 seconds ago, that's got to be quite brutal. So just your overall well-being, if you're an unattractive person and no one even wants to look at you in the elevator, no one even wants to shake your hand or acknowledge you.
You know, the very easy solution to this is for men to stop taking women seriously. Like, all of that would go away if men just didn't listen to women, but I don't know why we choose to listen to women, but we do. We could just say, yeah, sure, whatever.
Before I ask my next question, why do you want to look better? Meaning, look, I would get it if you looked like some mutant and you had some deformities and it was really messing up your life. But you're tall, muscular, you've got defined bone features. Why do you need to go further?
Well, I mean,
I don't know about the muscular part, but yeah, he needs to stop doing meth and maybe just do more steroids and hit the gym.
you're already rich. Why are we here right now doing this interview?
Because I
turn
think
that around on you.
I like having money. Money's a nice thing to have. But I don't really like spending money that much. And so I'm happy to make the money and get more money. But I think there's more to my work.
You get what
than
I'm saying,
money.
right?
No, but I think it's an important distinction.
Yeah.
I work for a lot more than money.
Mhm.
If I only wanted to make money, I would have gone into banking or consulting or something.
Mhm.
So I work for a lot more than that. What are you working for when you get the double job?
It's kind of funny he mentions that because he wanted to get into acting. Like, it's kind of funny. He looks a little bit like Frank Tufano. And if you look at his filmography history, he has a similar filmography history as Frank Tufano. When he was in film college, this guy played a gay dude. Just like Frank Tufano. He's a lot like Frank. So he wanted to get into film and acting, and he just sucked at it. And he wound up here. So it's kind of disingenuous that he'd say, "Oh, I'd get into finance or something." Like, no, you wouldn't. He's too stupid for that. Like, this guy adding and subtracting numbers, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm gonna be really surprised if the surgery Clav gets makes him look any better. He's probably gonna turn out like some freak.
But there is a part that you have left out in your total mogging package, which is something we were just talking about. And I wonder if
Spiritual aspect?
yes, does that cut against all of the other mogging? Is there any conflict there?
I don't think so. I really don't think so at all. There might be certain parts of religion, whether it be Christianity or I'm not sure if other people might be followers of Islam, that might.
Christianity is the true one. Don't worry about the other ones.
Well, just to acknowledge, like whatever viewers are watching, but I would tend to agree with you. I'm not sure if there's different, scripture about not modifying.
Abrahamic religions are for beta male faggots. If you really want to mog, you would follow the cult of Crom.
This from my friends where they say, I'm not focused on girls now. I'm going to have a career, I'm going to be established, I'm going to make some money, and then I'll worry about dating and getting married when I'm 30 or 35.
Don't ever worry about girls. Just go your own way and use them for sex. That is the best way to go about things.
Yeah, no, that's another cope because people by the time they're 35, a lot of their youth indicators have gone, and they haven't really gained enough progress to justify that looks decline with maybe the increase in income and.
I don't know what he means by looks decline. Women generally prefer older men. Like if you look at dating statistics, typically women date men who are 3 years older on average. But really, I think most women are going to actually find men between the age of 30 and 40 where they're near the peak of their career the most attractive, assuming like they still work out and everything. Like a lot of girls kind of dig it when guys have a few gray hairs, some wrinkles in their skin, stuff like that. Men just kind of look better as they age, as long as they stay in good shape and everything. You just look more distinguished and like rugged and more masculine. Like women are attracted to masculinity. So like you don't want to look like a boy your entire life. You do definitely want to look your age.
Kind of thing. So I would say that's probably not a good idea, but certainly at 19 years old, for me to put, my career sort of at a halt or at least slow down, the traction that I've been gaining seems a little bit ridiculous.
Does it need to, just having a girlfriend or
it does?
Or it does?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Just in my personal case, I mean, I do a lot of content.
Bro, women will always slow you down. They just do that. They will always get in your way. They'll never contribute to your career. And they'll just find ways to funnel money from you. Like, even if they're not, like, super greedy, and, like, they ask for, like, presents and gifts and dates and shit all the time, like, just the opportunity cost, the amount of time that they want you to commit to them. Like, they always find a way to just suck out, like, wealth and just your time and energy. So, like, again, what do you want more? Like, do you want some fucking bitch nagging at you just so you can have sex, like, occasionally? Or do you want more money so you can buy, like, a nice motorcycle or a car or something? Like, buddy, I'd take a Ninja H2 any day over some fucking chick who's just gonna do dumb girl shit all the time where, you're not spending enough time with me. I'm lonely. I want attention. Why are you playing video games? You spend more time playing video games than you do with me. You're having more fun working on your bike or motorcycle than you do with me. Why do you always seem happy and smiling when you're doing that, but then when we go on dates and watch some movie, you're always like you don't even seem like you're there. Like it's... Yeah, I'd rather have a fucking bike that's tuned to 300 horsepower that can go over 200 miles an hour than just deal with that fucking horse shit.
Also, with streaming, I stream every single day for hours. I'm on my computer all day. I really wouldn't have the time to be really an interesting partner for any woman. That's for sure.
Would that maybe balance you out a little bit if you took an hour a day to go get a drink with a girl?
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. If I had an extra hour a day, I would be using it at the gym before I'd use it.
Dude, it is not like, bro. Are you kidding me? It takes way more than an hour to go out with a girl.
To go get a drink, that seems a little.
Not just to go get a drink, but to get a drink with a girl, with a girlfriend, with a potential wife. In other words.
Oh yeah, Great. You can sit and listen to her talk and whine about bullshit. Dude, every fucking conversation with a girl when you go out on a date is her complaining about her, like, girlfriends or some woman at work that she hates. Or it's just like stupid small talk, like, what do you do? What do you do? Where did you grow up? What city are you from? Why the fuck would I be interested in any of that? Like, oh my God.
Why is doing an activity with a girl you want to date necessarily jester maxed?
Because you're just like this. I think of it like you're this big jester, like doing these silly like activities. Like you're basically like just an activity cell. Like what are you doing? Like bowling? That seems.
What if you become just a dinner cell, which is a less clownish activity?
Here's like the based way to go about dating. Don't go on a date. Don't do the, you know, movie and dinner thing, or like go bowling or some fucking horse shit. Do whatever the fuck you'd normally do. So, like, just go grocery shopping, or go to the gym, work out with her or something. Like, don't even fucking bother with the whole stupid fucking date thing. Because one, it's gonna waste more time. Two, opportunity cost. You could have been doing something productive. And three, it's gonna cost more fucking money. And what's also funny about it is, you'll hear this from some women. They kind of like just doing normal shit with a dude. It's kind of weird. There's when you just do normal things like that you do normally, it kind of puts them in this like weird mindset where you're like already together and they just see you in their your natural habitat sort of thing. And some women actually like that shit more. And like if she's the kind of girl that you'd even want to bother dating, like she's going to be into it. So like, yeah, don't even fuck around with the stupid movie, dinner, bowling, mini golf, stupid horse shit. Just tell her I'm going to go get some groceries, then I'm going to go home, work out. You want to come with me type shit. Just go with that. Don't even, because like, again, if she's like some bitch, she's just trying to get a free meal from you or something, then she's not going to get into it, and then you dodged a bullet. And if she's like actually a cool person that you might actually have an interest in dating, then she's going to be into it anyway. So like, don't even fuck around with the actual, let's go on a date where we have to do something that costs money and takes more time.
That's something I have to fight. I work all the time. I don't have a real job, but I work all the time.
So I would almost feel bad, like being in a serious relationship and just being like the most boring, awful person ever.
Well, would you be boring? No, you might work a lot. You might have to fight to make time, for your girlfriend.
But
would you be bored? And maybe you wouldn't want to do that. Why would you be?
Don't ever make time for a woman. She can adjust to your lifestyle. If not, then she can get the fuck out. Again, don't let women drag you down. It's so hard to explain this to dudes who like don't know, but I mean, how do I put this? Women like to complain that you're not spending time with them and all this horse shit. Women will say one thing, but like they'll feel another way. It's just, there's no way to make them happy. So as soon as you give in and then say, oh, okay, I'll spend time with you, it makes you look weak, like you're a beta male and you'll just listen to them. And then as soon as you give them time, they're going to act like a bitch all of a sudden. And it's like, well, what did I do wrong? I'm doing what you asked me to do. They'll just act like a complete fucking cunt. So just do whatever the fuck you want and let them yap and complain or some shit. And then you can tell them to take a fucking hike.
A lot of the come ups for famous people, they'll get like scouted for being like famous actors or models,
Yes.
like doing heinous, You know, like for example, like Jordan Barrett got scouted to be who's like one of the top like looks max people, was scouted like while he's like stealing. There's this other guy named Jeremy Meeks. I don't know if you've heard of.
No.
So he committed a felony and he had a mugshot where a lot of girls on Facebook liked him. They thought he was good looking, so they bailed him out, and then he got a $1 million modeling contract. So like that's what's available to you once you hit that top percentile of looks. You could pretty much.
So that guy wasn't even particularly good looking. He just got lucky. It's all there is to it.
Most hot people on social media don't get a lot of likes and certainly don't get branded.
But what are we talking about by hot? Like good looking? Like some people think that like Sydney Sweeney is extremely attractive.
I would say, I don't want to.
Sydney Sweeney is not, like, just not particularly good looking.
Scandalize anybody, a married man. I would say Sydney Sweeney is very attractive.
I would say that she's pretty malformed. Her upper maxilla is extremely recessed, right? She's got the eyes of doom with no infraorbital support. She's really not that much of a looker in her face.
That's what I've been saying. That's funny. Clive agrees with me. Like, she's just not attractive.
I think that a lot of people with porn brains find her attractive because of her
I
body.
don't have porn brain. I don't know. Well, you're telling me that that if a guy finds Sydney Sweeney attractive, he's got to have porn brain?
I think that she's above average in looks, but certainly not that like,
No, you said she's got a sunken suborbital, I forget the words that you said.
Yeah, she's got a recessed infraorbitals and a recessed upper maxilla.
You're telling me you go to a bar.
I'm just saying she's not the pinnacle of looks that I'm talking about to actually succeed on social media. She's average to above average.
She's pretty successful. Doesn't that more bode for my side of the argument?
Not
that
really.
looks is not the one-to-one guarantee of success, even by your low estimation of how she looks?
Well, that doesn't argue with my principle at all. That if someone is actually the 9 out of 10 looks level that we're talking about, the top percentile, that they'll be famous. I'm just simply stating that she's not that top echelon.
So who's really beautiful?
Well, if we're talking about just like supermodels.
Someone that I wouldn't recognize anybody, but someone that the audience might recognize.
Like, we'll talk about like supermodels like, Giselle Bundchen and Taylor Hill, like the top like Victoria's.
Was she the one?
Giselle Bundchen? Okay, I must have typed it in wrong. I'm getting like a weird random list of things. Some black woman cookie recipes.
Just
about just like supermodels.
Someone that I wouldn't recognize anybody, but someone that the audience might recognize.
Like, we'll talk about like supermodels like, Giselle Bundchen and
Giselle Bundchen? Dude, what? She's a fucking granny.
Damn, first you say Breaking Bad sucks and now you're saying Sydney Sweeney is unattractive. Come on, VG. It's okay to be wrong.
I'm not wrong. Dude, this chick is a fucking grandma. Like I mean, she looks good for her age, but it's just weird that he'd mention like an old lady.
Taylor Hill, like the top like.
Taylor Hale? Is he into MILFs? Okay, she is young. Yeah, she's... Yeah, her body's just not it. She's got an all right face. I don't think she's that good looking. Yeah, I'm not super into her face. Like, I wouldn't say she's like top 0.1% of looks. Like, she's all right, but like, dude, this just seems like some chick who undereats, and she just has kind of, to me, just some odd facial proportions, and her body just is not it. Like, really not into the way her body looks. Just 12-year-old boy kind of physique. Just not into that at all. just so flat. Like her proportions are kind of weird too. Like she doesn't have any hips. Kind of a long, weird torso. Like, I don't know. Those are kind of weird mentions.
Victoria's
Was she the one, Gisele Bundchen, was she the one married to Tom Brady?
correct.
Yes.
Right. So
You think she's hotter than Sydney Sweeney?
absolutely.
No.
That's ridiculous to suggest
No
otherwise.
way. They're different ages, I guess, so maybe I'm grading on a curve.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like her recently would probably not be as great, but in her prime, yeah, absolutely. Blows out of the water.
Why?
Well, because of her facial harmony scores, right? There's measurements that you could take of everyone's face to figure out exactly how attractive they are. It's an objective thing. The only thing that would make looks subjective.
Dude, there are like random girls in the IDF that are way hotter. Just random fucking chicks in the Israeli military are way fucking hotter. Like, give me a fucking break. These are just random fucking women in the fucking IDF. They don't work as models, and just total randoms who are doing like either mandatory military service or for whatever reason wanted to serve. Like, this is just weird that he's mentioning some of these like fucking women who are just not it. So
Objective was like some people may prefer like more tan skin versus pale skin, like we were talking about before. But even then, it's
I agree that beauty is an objective thing. So I
Right.
totally disagree with the modern conception that beauty
Yeah,
is in the eye of
it's
the
a cope.
beholder. I think it's a cope. And I do think I'm with St. Thomas Aquinas that part of what is beautiful is harmony, is harmonizing, radiance and things like that. Yeah.
symmetry. Yeah, so absolutely. So that's simply what I'm stating is, there might be a false idea of what's actually that good looking. If, Sydney Sweeney were to apply that principle, start posting on social media without acting, oh, where's my brand deals? It's like, well, you're not who we're talking about.
Now, hold on. Why did you conclude that people who think Sydney Sweeney is attractive use pornography? What is it about porn that would lead you to that conclusion?
I think a lot of what they like about her is her breasts and probably just her body. And that's generally like a very like gooner porn.
she does not have a great body. She just has big boobs. That's it. She doesn't even have an ass. Like, give me a fucking break, dude. I find Americans in particular have really low beauty standards. I've had some American friends, and they've mentioned girls that they think are just smoking hot, and I'm like, really? Like if you just go down any random street in Toronto, like every other girl you walk past is like hotter than some of the like Sydney Sweeney and shit. So I think Americans just have really weird beauty standards where they just, I don't know, they're just like lower tier.
It's so online. All of this is so profoundly online. And one of the evils of pornography is it reduces humanity merely to the physical.
I'm very anti-porn myself. Yeah, I think it ruins your dopamine system. It's going to give you a very bad perception of how women are, in the actual real life, because a lot of it's just acting. It's all fake.
All a fantasy.
Yeah, so that has done a lot of damage for people, especially with the recent stuff like OnlyFans.
I just don't buy some of this shit. Like, I think there's a type of porn watcher this may be true for, but I just don't buy most of the shit.
I strongly suspect that porn so screws up people's brains that it changes their desires and what they consider attractive. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
My point, I guess, is one of the evils of pornography is it reduces people who are, these.
I don't know how they figure that. I've had certain preferences, and I just look for that in porn. I haven't found that porn has affected in any way my sexual preferences. Like, I've always liked butts. I like watching girls lick each other's butts. Like you look for what you want, right? I don't know how it works the other way around, where the media you're watching informs what you want.
I almost don't want to ask, did it work?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, bone smashing's legit. I mean, you even take a look at like UFC fighters, like their brow ridge over their career, or x-rays of their shin, and like there's massive amounts of hypertrophy in their bones.
Are there any downsides to hitting yourself in the head with a hammer?
No, as long as you have proper bracing, you're going to be fine. But that's what I mean.
There are downsides to hitting yourself in the face with a hammer.
Do you think Bill Clinton's life improved because he did that thing with Monica in the Oval Office? Or do you think his life was worse because of it?
I think it was worse because he didn't double down and just say like exactly what I'm saying now.
I think he still would have gotten impeached, even if he got
No,
up there and mogged and said, I totally did it.
Yeah,
and
dude,
it was awesome.
I'm telling you, if he would have doubled down, I think people would find that to be funny.
They would find
Apologizing or lying about something is the worst thing you can do. If you just own up to it, nobody's gonna fuck with you. I don't think Bill Clinton would have gotten impeached if he was like, yeah, I'm the president numero uno and I mog all the bitches in the White House. Like, yeah, I don't think anybody would have given two fucks.
not going to live very long on this earth. We'll be here, I don't know, 80 years maybe by current standards, and then we're going to go take a dirt nap. And I think that that's not the end of the story because we're rational creatures with a rational soul. And so I think that there's eternity too, and that you can't. It doesn't actually make any sense to consider the natural lens of life divorced from the supernatural lens of life because eternity is a lot longer than 80 years. Does that factor into your thinking at all or no?
Oh my god. We're rational creatures. That's why there's a bouncy castle up in the sky that we go to. After we die, what a fucktard.
Actually, you can look at the data from lottery winners. Winning the lottery usually does not improve people's lives. Often it leaves them much worse off.
It's because they don't know how to manage their money. They're fucking retards. They're average, everyday, working, stiff, dumb fucks, and then they end up blowing all their money.
The reason it's bad is, if you want to get real, like traddy-based, Plato makes the point that seduction is actually worse than rape. And this is a controversial point, of course, but his argument is that, a rape, horrific as it is a physical violation, but seduction is also a spiritual violation. So it cuts even deeper. So that would be the argument.
Did he just say convincing somebody to have consensual sex with you is worse than rape? What the fuck?
I heard hair loss drugs sometimes can give you ED.
That's like a nocebo thing, and that happens to like with finasteride. Yeah, that's true. It can happen to like 1% of users, I believe, have reported.
1%'s a lot.
But and say you were to take finasteride and be that rare case, extremely rare, where you have libido issues, it's only acute while you're taking the drug.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't seem to be only acute. There are people who, after they stop taking it, they still have ED for years after.
It's not, it doesn't.
Some people recover from it, but it seems like post-finasteride syndrome is real. It's rare, but does seem to happen.